Welcome to The Explainer. You know, we love breaking down big ideas, and today we've got a really interesting one. We're going to take a look at a tool that's trying to tame the Wild West of modern AI. It's called AxisGPT.
All right, let me ask you something, especially if you use AI a lot. How many tabs do you have open, like right now? I bet it's a few. Does this sound familiar? You're jumping between ChatGPT, then Gemini, then Claude, just copying and pasting, trying to find that one perfect answer. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. It's this digital chaos, right? It's AI overload. You've got all these amazing tools, and each one is good at something different, but there's no central hub. It just ends up being a huge mess, and honestly, a massive waste of time.
So, what if, just imagine, you could ask your question just once and get answers from all the top AIs at the same time? Well, that's exactly the big idea behind AxisGPT. Okay, let's get into the core solution and see how they pull this off.
And really, the promise is super simple, but also kind of brilliant. Ask once, compare everywhere. You just type what you need into one box, hit enter, and boom. Instead of one lonely response, you get answers from like 8 leading models all at once. It takes that scattered, chaotic process and just streamlines it completely.
But here's what I think is really cool, the control you get. It's not just throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. No, you get to handpick which AIs you want to use for any given question. So you can choose ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, even Grok. You tailor the search to exactly what you need.
And this right here, this is the payoff. Look at that. One single prompt, but you get all these different perspectives laid out in this clean, organized grid. It makes comparing them so easy. You can literally just glance over and see how DeepSeek's answer stacks up against Perplexity's or Grok's. It's all right there. Okay, so you've got all these answers. Awesome. But now what? How do you actually know which one is the best one for what you're doing? I mean, if you're writing some code, for example, is Gemini's response really better than what Claude gave you? It's not always obvious, right? This is where AxisGPT tries to help you out. It gives you these smart suggestions. Check this out. The user asked about building a React app, and right away, the tool suggests using Claude because it knows Claude is really strong with coding tasks. It's kind of like having a little expert on your shoulder, pointing you in the right direction.
So, getting the answers is step one, for sure. But the real magic, the real power, comes from what you do with those answers afterwards. So let's move on and look at how this thing helps you go from just a bunch of raw text to building your own personal knowledge base. It's not just about getting the answer and leaving. There's a whole workflow built in here. You can save your favorite responses, you can flag the best ones so you can find them later, and you can even generate a link to share with your team. It's got folders, tags, the whole shebang to keep you organized. And that's the point, right? This isn't meant to be a one-and-done tool. The idea is that you're building up your own personal library of insights over time. You can see here in the chat history, everything is saved. You can go back, follow up on an old conversation, reuse a prompt that worked really well, or even export all that data. Okay, now this is where things get really powerful. AxisGPT doesn't just let you use AI, it helps you understand how you're using it. It basically turns all your activity into data you can actually use. So you get this usage dashboard that gives you a bird's eye view of everything you're doing. Look at this. This person has made 467 queries in the last month. Right away, you get a clear snapshot of your own AI habits.
And you can dig deeper too. You can see exactly which models you lean on the most. And this isn't just for fun. It actually tells you something about your workflow. You might realize, hey, I'm using ChatGPT for everything, when for certain tasks, Claude or Perplexity would actually be way better. And if you really want to geek out, there are these advanced analytics. This radar chart, for example, gives you a super quick visual comparison, and then you have the hard stats below. This is how you find out that, say, Grok is the fastest, but maybe Claude is giving you the best code snippets every single time. It's all about using data to get smarter about how you prompt. All right, so this all leads to a really important idea. AxisGPT wants to be more than just a comparison tool. The goal here is to be a platform that actually gives your AI superpowers, turning it into what you might call a super app. You know, one single place that does a whole bunch of integrated stuff.
And how does it do that? Well, it's through something they call the Model Context Protocol, or MCP for short. Don't worry about the fancy name. All it really means is it's a way to plug other tools and data sources directly into your AI.
Honestly, the best way to think about it is like installing an app on your phone. You find a new skill you want your AI to have, you add the server, which is like hitting install, and bam, your AI can now do something new. It's that simple.
So for example, you could add the Gmail MCP. And just by doing that, you're giving your AI the ability to read and search your emails, or even help you draft replies. Think about that.
This is a total game changer. Your AI suddenly goes from being this generic chatbot that knows a lot about the internet to being a truly personal assistant, one that's plugged into your tools, your data, your way of working.
So, when you boil it all down, the big story here is that journey from total AI chaos, all those tabs and windows, to the focused power of a single, smart, and expandable platform. It's about comparing, organizing, and then supercharging your AI.
And that kind of leaves us with a final, pretty big thought. You know, with tools like this, the line between just using an AI and actually programming it starts to get really blurry. You're not just a user asking questions anymore. You're kind of building your own custom brain. So the real question is, if you could give your AI any superpower, what would it be? What would you build with it?